Hello and welcome to the latest video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout as we look ahead to Game Week 30 and beyond. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout writer Marc to discuss the best forward options looking ahead. Marc, how are you?
Hi, not too bad, thanks. Nice sunny day in the northeast.
Excellent. Excellent. See, those who watched the midfielders video that we did the previous day, we're actually recording all of these together. So we're pretending it's different days. I haven't done very well pretending. I've just revealed it. It's not.
What about last night, by the way?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Christmas, you mean? No.
that was
Well,
last night was a big one.
that football match. What, England Brazil? No, actually, these are all going out before the England game.
That thing that happened was
Yeah. Yeah. That
that was emotional,
meteorites.
wasn't it?
That meteorite storm when we all went blind and Triffids took over the world. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, this was only a few hours ago. Yeah.
Who can forget? Who can forget? Right. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the fixtures, and we're going to hopefully help people select the best forwards, whether they're wildcarding or just making transfers, and with the double game weeks in mind. Now we are recording before any double game week announcement. There may not be for a while yet. You may be watching this and they're not announced. They maybe have been announced, but hopefully some of these names. So tailor whatever names we mentioned to the teams that you want to target for a double game week, and that's going to best suit your team. So I just wanted to say that there are a number of teams that are not having a double game week that we know of yet. I mean, obviously, things could happen, but so far they're not having a double game. It's Aston Villa, West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Luton, Nottingham Forest and Burnley. So we're less interested in those forwards, which will come as a shock to those that have got the likes of Ollie Watkins in their team, or even Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest. So let's have a look at these fixtures to remind ourselves what we're doing here. Chelsea, Bournemouth, Fulham, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, all top there. Chelsea have two fixtures to rearrange. Bournemouth just the one. Liverpool have one. Fulham and Nottingham Forest don't have any. Luton, Villa, Crystal Palace, Brighton amongst those with tough fixtures there. Amongst those, Brighton, Crystal Palace have fixtures to rearrange. Arsenal, Man City are quite low down here, but that's because they play each other. Come game week 31, they will shoot up this table in terms of fixture difficulty because Arsenal face Luton, Brighton and Aston Villa. Man City, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and Luton. So with all that in mind, what does this sort of indicate with you in the types of forwards that you want going forward?
It certainly brings up a big debate about Ollie Watkins, as you mentioned. If he's not going to get, Villa are really low in those fixtures, and we know it's not going to get boosted with a double. So he's so highly owned, and that could be a good or a bad thing because there'll be some managers, some FPL managers who are disappointed with their ranks and see this final run as the time to make some calculated differential punts. And they might think Watkins is a good sacrifice for some of these other less owned strikers that we're going to come to now. So there's absolutely an argument for selling Watkins, especially if you need to raise money for Salah, for example.
Okay.
The lack of doubles really does affect that. But then at the same time, he's got the most attacking returns out of anybody. So it's a risk, absolutely.
Yeah. It also says to me here that Darwin Núñez perhaps should be on my radar, although he has got 8 yellows. With Brighton and Sheffield United coming up next as well. It also makes me want to keep Solanke because he's got Everton, Crystal Palace, Luton and Manchester United, and then he could double in 34. Even if he doesn't double in 34, these are good amongst the best fixtures. It also starts to make me think about Jackson, and I don't think I've had Jackson in my team, so I'm not tainted by Jackson's misses early on, but he's actually been racking up some returns. But I mean, before we get too into players looking at the season ticker, I've got a table we can put up which is sorted by minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, and I've added a couple of names at the bottom as well who are sort of budget picks that can consider, but we'll start at the top here, and it's got unsurprisingly it's got Haaland there. So before we look at that table, just a quick reminder, do press that like button. Also do remember to subscribe as well to keep updated with the latest videos and podcasts. Okay, here is the table I have carefully constructed for minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty amongst strikers. And top, understandably, it's Haaland every 98.7 minutes. He's got a goal involvement without penalties, and he is on penalties as well. He's got 7 assists, 18 goals. I mean, this is no surprise to anyone. Everyone knows he's brilliant. He's got a game to rearrange. Probably going to be in 37, might be in 34, but I think it's 37. No, I don't think it can be in 34, can it? So anyway, he's got a double to rearrange, and you'll perhaps know when that is or when that isn't when you're watching this. But yeah, now I was speaking to Tom on goals imminent, and he's going to go without Haaland in order to get Salah in. He's going to keep Foden, and he feels that Foden can cover Haaland. And FPL Chai, who I've interviewed, who is still in the top 100, he was in the top 10 last time I spoke to him. He has been without Haaland for a lot of this season, and he's obviously where he is in the rankings, one of the best scores around this season. So, yeah, Haaland, is he in your team? If he wasn't, would you get him in?
I'm a safe manager, so he is there, and he probably would be there, regardless, because I'd just find another way to get Salah in. I can totally understand the arguments or the appeal of not doing that, because that money could do some pretty special things. And I think he hasn't really come up with a large score for a while. He's always, I don't think he's really getting above 7 or 8 that often. So there is an argument for it. But at the end of the day, their fixtures, especially when the doubles are confirmed, they're going to be hard to resist.
Yeah. I think
there might be a chance that his minutes get managed around the Champions League, but he's Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my team. He may be injured. He has withdrawn from the Norway squad. But even so, if you've got a good first bench, you can come on. But if he's fit for, I mean, it's for against Arsenal in Game Week 30, so it's no hardship for him not to play. But it's Aston Villa next, Crystal Palace, then Luton. Yeah, I'm going to want to keep him then, but I guess you're right. I think there is an argument you could possibly go without him, because in Game Week 31 you also have the option to captain Saka at home to Luton, or Salah at home to Sheffield United, and there are better fixtures as well. So for example, when he has got Crystal Palace away in Game Week 32, Salah with a great scoring record against Manchester United, he faces them in Game Week 32, and so on. There are better options there. So yeah, I'm speaking as a Haaland owner. I'll keep, but I definitely think it is a valid conversation for those that don't own him, whether they can do without. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, once he stops becoming the default captain option, it does bring up that question. And both sides are sort of compelling, really. I'm personally going to keep him. But yeah, like people like Tom and everyone else you mentioned there, yeah, there is something kind of interesting about going without, because some of the names below him on this list have a lot of appeal to them, differential appeal, and they could really fire up the rankings in these final weeks.
Amongst those is Darwin Núñez, especially if you couple him with Salah. I did a sort of a Valentine's Day video about couples in FPL, and amongst those, basically it was those who score and assist with each other there, and Darwin Núñez and Salah were amongst one of the highest. They are very good. So if one of them scores, the other one's likely to be the assister, which is good. Darwin Núñez has got 10 goals and 10 assists. Not too shabby. His minutes per expected goal involvement non-penalty, 98.9 minutes. So just behind Haaland, but same neck of the woods there. 17 starts. So he's 20 attacking returns in 17 starts is absolutely huge for 7.5. He's only marginally been underperforming in terms of his expected goal involvement. He's actually created 27 chances as well. So yeah, it's 8 yellow cards. So that's the thing. If he gets to 9 yellow cards and he's facing Sheffield United, I'd be tempted to bring him in if he had 8 or 7 or 6. But 9 is like, I don't want to miss 2 games, because then you got to transfer him out again, and transfers are precious at the moment.
Very.
Yeah. Next name though, Jackson at Chelsea. I don't know. You had Jackson in your side. Are you tainted by him?
Yeah, early on, I think it was game week 3 when Chelsea had Luton at home, and it sort of those opening couple of games he didn't score, but his XG was really high. So the thought was, get him now because he's going to explode against Luton, and he did eventually get
Yeah.
his goal, but only after Sterling had outdone him. And I think there was a 0-0 at Bournemouth after that. Got rid of him from that point on, and that was it. He is quietly doing the business now, though,
Yeah.
isn't he? And those Chelsea fixtures are huge. I don't know if I would want to double up on their attack with him
No.
and Palmer, but his big chances are amongst the best.
Yeah,
And
what
I think
interests me is just the fact he's got 2 games. He's got 2 games, and in a double game week, him and Palmer together. That's your. That's. I mean, I'd probably want to triple up on Chelsea, well, depending on what the fixtures are. But they've got great fixtures up: Burnley, Manchester United, Sheffield United, and Everton, all in the next 4. Yeah, 9 goals, 3 assists. Minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 124 minutes. So getting on for a goal involvement a game. Marginally been well, no, not marginally. He's been underperforming by getting on for nearly 3 goal involvements. He's created 21 chances. Yeah, these are good, strong stats, really. But and luckily, I hadn't had him in my team, so I haven't been. I've got no opinion of Jackson in terms of bad or good. So I could consider getting him in, definitely. Next name though, Isak. He is the player that would challenge him if Newcastle double at the same time as Chelsea. I think I prefer Isak. 12 goals, no assists. So it's all about the goals there. And across his 17 starts, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 131.7 minutes. He created 13 chances as well. So surprisingly, no assists. With 13 chances, he might have got an assist out of that. But 12 goals, pretty good. Yeah, he plays for your team. I'm guessing if Newcastle have a double, you're straight in for Isak.
I think he's a really interesting option. I'm very self-critical of my own team and need to change that
Yeah.
absolutely. As a sort of a personal improvement, need to stop being as critical. But what I will say is, when fit, Isak is one of the best around.
Yeah.
And as you say, his starts to goals ratio is really good. Fixture run, 2 home games up next, and there could be a double on the horizon. Goals are flowing at both ends for Newcastle, which isn't good if you want Trippier or Dubravka, but it is good for someone like Isak. And I think as a differential, if you're wanting to get off Watkins or Haaland, names like Isak and Darwin are kind of fascinating. I think there's a lot of upside to them.
Next name, Watkins. People are going to remove him, but got Wolves up next, so that's a good game for him. Man City away. And Brentford at home, another good game for him, and then Arsenal away. So it's a mixed bag fixtures, but he doesn't have that double. He's got a 0 there for extra games. So Watkins is a player that in game week 31, I'm probably going to move on to whoever has got a double game week. I think if we know by then. So as I work towards a double game week team in game week 34. So yeah, and I think that's going to be the same, isn't it? But he could do some damage. But I think I'm at peace with Watkins' points that I'll miss. But is he in your team at the moment?
He is. He is. I think I haven't really considered wildcard 31, but over these videos, it has kind of sunk in that 31 is going to see a few swings fixture wise. You probably want Salah, maybe not want Son or Watkins. So it could be a good time to maybe activate that. And Watkins, I can totally see the reason why you'd want to sell. He either explodes or blanks, which could go either way.
Yeah, he's got 16 goals and 15 assists, which is absolutely huge. 31 attacking returns, goal involvements there. He's obviously been overperformed with that huge volume there. But yeah, it's the sheer volume of assists and goals there. So yeah, as I said, I'm at peace with missing his point. Next name is Solanke. He has got 15 goals, another great season for him. Much less, far fewer assists though than Watkins. He's only got 3 across his 28 starts, 130 FPL points, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 154 minutes, so much less than Watkins, but he has created 31 chances and hasn't really been under or overperforming, sort of been doing what he should do according to the expected stats. But yeah, with a double game week coming up, Everton, Crystal Palace, Luton and Manchester United, that's you got to be keeping him, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I was considering selling him for Tony around 33 because there's a sort of a shift at that point between like Solanke's fixtures were gonna get tougher at 33 and Tony was set to take over, but double 34 if it happens sort of extinguishes that. I think if we look further down the list, his teammate Semenyo, that's an interesting
Yeah.
debate. Solanke v Semenyo,
Yeah.
because of course the latter comes so cheap that if you're wanting to go 3-5-2,
Yeah.
but he'd be good for a bench boost because Semenyo outscored him in that double.
Yeah.
Sort of him, like Muniz, are both just in great form and they're so cheap.
Yeah.
So Semenyo is an interesting way to still have Bournemouth but not have Solanke. But as for Solanke, he hasn't really done a lot wrong.
No, I mean, I know I mentioned Tom Freeman again, that do the goals imminent video with. He's got Solanke and Semenyo. So that is an option there with 4.5 million. Yeah, he does free up a lot of money. Well, let's mention Semenyo's stats here. Yeah, strong contender, especially when they got double game week. Got 7 goals and 3 assists, 10 attacking returns there. Minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, every 298 minutes. So that's quite substantially low down there. And he's been marginally overperforming, which obviously those minutes per expected goal involvement would indicate there. But he has created 20 chances. So yes, okay stats, not as good as Solanke, but yeah, I mean, he outscored him. So to be mentioned there. I'll flag up the name at the bottom of the table before I mention 3 strikers that don't have a double game week, and that's Mateta next at 4.9. Seems to be favoured as the attacking player, the sort of the focal point of the attack. Obviously, Eze is going to be popular. Elise, I don't think Elise is going to be back, but if he was, he would be popular. But Mateta will be forgotten, so he'll be low owned. Exactly the sort of player I like on the goals imminent video. But yeah, he's got 5 goals and 5 assists. Strong, a bunch of attacking returns there. An extra game, created 24 chances, and only had been overperforming by about 3 goal involvements so far this season. Of course, it's 15 starts, but yeah, I quite like him. I'm waiting for Crystal Palace. I think I would be very tempted by Mateta.
He seems to be maybe favoured ahead of Edouard now.
Yeah.
There's a couple of games recently where they both started because of the injuries. So it would be worth keeping an eye on. If it is just one of them, is it still Mateta? But yeah, the fixtures look good on the horizon when this double lands. I think potentially both the 34 ones at home. He's a good option as he's competing. He's got quite a competitive category there in terms of sub 5 million forwards. There's a I think.
But that's quite a good thing because sometimes if I get a sub 5 million forward, the fear is like, where do I go? I can't run away from them. But here you can run away from them. So Semenyo is you can run away from Mateta there. There's 3 other players I mentioned. Tone, I'll mention their stats, but I'm less interested in them, even though they can be quite good. 2 of which did exceptionally well in the blank game week. So Tony, he's 8.2. He's had just 4 goals, but obviously he's only been back since January, and an assist and minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 200 minutes. So not as strong. He's created 8 chances, been marginally underperforming. Brentford's fixtures got Manchester United and Brighton at home, good fixtures. Aston Villa away, Sheffield United at home. I mean, these are all right fixtures, but the lack of double means I'm sort of less interested, and I think that's probably going to keep his ownership down, I think.
Yeah, the single game week ones do look strong on paper, like Sheffield United and Luton are sort of coming up, I think, possibly in consecutive weeks, but they probably are just going to be singles. Well, they are going to be. It's a shame. I was really disappointed in them with the free hit in 29. Bit of a letdown there. Good player, of course, but I think that's maybe soured me on him when there's so many names on this list that look good and competing for 3 spots.
yeah, for that price, I mean, they've got double game weeks coming for Jackson, Darwin, Isak, Solanke, similar prices. It's just not going to go for Tony. And last two names mentioned on the list are cheap ones. Once again, no double, but they could be good. And they both, those who got them in, well done in game week 29 because they did exceptionally well. Chris Wood, he scored 9 goals and an assist. I think he might have gone off as a precautionary injury. I'm not precautionary because of an injury. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, he is obviously getting on a bit. He's been doing this for like years now. But yeah, what a player! 4.8 million. He seems to be cementing Nottingham Forest attack when he's fit. And a 1 year's out for the season, I believe. So next up is Muniz at Fulham. The real surprise package, but wow, 7 goals in 10 starts and an assist as well. So it's 8 attacking returns in 10 starts. Amazing. 4.6 minutes per expected goal involvement every 162 minutes, which is sort of Foden level, which is pretty good, really. He's created 12 chances. So yeah, out of those ones, those cheap ones, they're going to be the ones that probably get away from a lot of people. I have seen Muniz in a few wild card teams at the moment. I think he seems to be favoured because he did well last week. But I just wonder if there's a double game week player that's a similar price. Semenyo, Mateta might be a bit better.
Yeah, possibly. We've come a long way from sort of the Cameron Archer
Yeah.
first half of the season when I think it was just him or who was it? Mubam, the West Ham striker. Well, there's a few options there now, really good ones. And yeah, Muniz, well done to everybody who got him
Yeah.
for 29 just then. That was a really good shout.
Yeah.
As you say, he does have the form, but looking forward, a couple of the other ones in his price range might have the fixtures.
Definitely. I mean, he's got the fixtures as such next 4: Sheffield United away, Nottingham Forest away, Newcastle stuff, and then West Ham away. But yeah, no double. And that's the thing. That's why I'm less
There's also the
interested.
thought, sorry, there's also the thought sometimes that if you get in a player just after they've had a brilliant run of
Yeah.
form,
Yeah.
are you too late sort of thing?
Yeah.
So like, if we get him now, is he really going to continue that rate?
Yeah. But yeah, he could do. That's the thing. That's that. But that's FPL. Okay, Mark. Thanks so much for joining me with this. I hope that's given everyone listening and watching some food for thought. Whatever the double game weeks are, however they land by the time you watch this, hopefully you've got some ideas here. So if it looks like Wolves are playing twice or Crystal Palace are playing twice coming up soon, you can think, well, I might consider Mateta there. For example. But thanks a lot for your time. Do remember to press that like button, everyone, and do remember to subscribe, keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Mark, thanks so much for your time. Take care. See you soon.
Good luck, everyone.